a video about green cards or improvement, and it's a very practical, it's a very good initiative, and I want to make a contribution there. So let's go for it. Hi, my name is Christian Wurzelball. I support the textile service industry with management training, know-how in textile service 4.0 and practical hints that you can implement right away. Now about green cards. I have a little personal story there. I used to work for 1 year in the States, in New York, and I myself had a working permit, but my wife didn't have one. So we applied to the green card lottery, and my wife won. She won. She got the possibility to get a green card, but she didn't want to move to the States, so we didn't take it. But then I understood that out of these many peoples in the plant, they would kill for a green card. So I'm not so sure whether a green card is the best way to name this initiative in the States. So let's call it improvement cards. If you're outside of the States, you can call it green card. But it's not about immigration. So a brief history about improvements. Myself, I made a course in quality management 30 years ago. I was in charge for introducing quality management at the plant because we also serviced hospitals with surgical drapes and gowns. And at this time we had to introduce ISO 9000. So I was in charge in introducing ISO 9000 for surgical drapes and gowns, and therefore we had a training there. Then there was the issue of improvement suggestions. So how to reward them, how to make a process that you get the know-how from the employees and that they contribute and so on. So we made a big program there, and I made it up. So we had a form to fill out, and then a way to reward it. So you would get, say, something like $10 for each and every improvement that you suggest. And if it's a really, really meaningful one, then you get, I don't know, it was 5 or 10% of the benefit for the company in the first year and in the first 12 months. And so it was a rather complicated concept, and we made an outline, we made a billboard and so on, and a box where you can leave all the forms. And then at an event we introduced everybody to this new improvement process, and everybody can participate. The result was that one guy filled out about 20 forms, and then we had another 3 people filling out another 3 forms. That's it. And these 20 forms from this one guy were not so meaningful, so it was just to get the $10 for each form. And then we had the issue on how to evaluate it, and was it serious, was it not serious, do we give him the money or not, and so on. So it was a headache, and of course we then discontinued the program after a few weeks, and yeah, it was a flop. And then years later, in 2009 actually, we introduced lean management, and the consultants had green cards in this case. They were green, so let's call them improvement cards. So these improvement cards, in German we call them green cards, are basically to note each improvement that you can make. and you would go to the plant and you would see that you can improve this machine, you can improve this process, and so on and so on. And you make a note and have then this card, and then you put this card on a board, and you use this board to track the improvements. And this worked actually really, really fine. And you get a process going. And in this case, you would also include the name of the employee that mentioned the issue, the problem, that made a suggestion, whatever. And so you give this employee the credit to initiate an improvement. And then you take responsibility as a team leader, as a production manager, whatever, and you have then the responsibility that there is also an outcome and that you get things done. Basically, this is also a way to implement getting things done from David Allen in the production environment. I can introduce this book maybe in another video. So subscribe to the channel, there will be more useful videos in the next future. And the idea is that you have many small improvements and together with big ones. So there is a nice diagram. It's called Efford-Reward-Diagram, and so you have tasks or improvements that have a low effort, so they do not cost much. So you have a low effort there, and you have a high reward. For instance, if you improve the sorting, so you have a sorting system. So you sort, for instance, on the solo on the clean side, and so in this case it was on the clean side. And we sort then the linen and the duvet covers and the pillowcases and the towels and so on to different types of linen. And in this case, for instance, there was an issue that the sorting process was not good for the towels. So the employees that had to feed the toll folders had to sort the tolls because they were not sorted properly. And in this case, to improve the sorting by training the people on the sort, and to improve the layout and so on. So things that are cheap, to make improvements there is a high reward. So you have a high benefit. So you save, maybe you can increase your productivity there by 20, 30, 50% at the toll folder if you have a better sorting. So you have a high reward and you have a low effort. So you can do it in 1 or 2 days, and it's not a big project. So this is A. And if it's a low effort and a low reward, then it's B. So low effort, low reward could be, for instance, last week I had an issue that one employee mentioned to me that the light is very dim at her workplace. So she was, for instance, working for private clothing, and for her it's hard to discern whether it's dark blue or black, and she would have a better quality in her work if she would have a better light. So improving the light there and exchanging, in this case, just a bulb is really not a big effort. But on the other hand, you also cannot say whether there's a big reward either. So you will not be able to save one employee, or you cannot cut your payroll just because you exchange a bulb. You just do it. Yeah. And this is also really motivating if you listen to employees and do what they say. So in this case, this would be a B. A would be is a big reward, not much investment, and then you have, of course, also B with a low benefit and low effort. And then, of course, you have also C projects. C projects are investments, for instance. When you say, okay, again, toll folder, you have visited a fair and all of a sudden you see that there is a robotics around, and you think, okay, if I invest now $400,000, then I can automate the whole toll folding, and I do not need any employee anymore there. This would be a C project. So it might be a very good idea to invest there, but it's an investment, it's high effort, and in this case it's a high reward. But of course you have then the risk if the machine doesn't work and for some reason you made a mistake, your item list is too long, or you have the machine doesn't work, then you end up with a D project because you have invested the money, you have spent the money for the machine, but your reward is not there because you need a mechanic standing beside the machine because it doesn't work, for instance. So in this case, you would have no benefit there, but you have invested these 400,000 euros. So this is a C project. Nobody wants to do a D project, but you might end up to have a D project if you have a C project that doesn't turn out to have the reward that you wanted. So this is the idea of ABC, and in this case, for the improvements, you would classify these improvements with A, B, and C. So the A improvements you would do with a very, very high priority. So you would then say, this supervisor, this team lead, this production manager, you do this right away, do this week, next week, and we'll see you, we'll have a look at it. So this is really, really important. And the B projects, the B tasks, you do also right away. So this is something that you can do, and you just do it. So bam, 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 bam. Just do it. And with the C projects, of course, you have to be careful because you cannot do everything all the time. And then you make a list of ideas and projects that you want to do, and you do 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever C projects in a year. And these cost money, but they have also high reward. But the idea is that you, with this method, you also do the A and B improvements in a very structured way. And for instance, if you have a plant with 100 employees, then you have 10, 15 people that are key employees. You have a plant manager, you have supervisors, you have technicians, and so on. You have people in admin, and if every one of these makes 1 or 2 improvements each week, then you get, say, 40, 60, 80 improvements each month in the plant of 100 people. And this makes a huge difference. And it makes not just a huge difference in improvement, but also in employee motivation. Because when I come back to the example of this employee that didn't have the right light, so if you frustrate this employee because you do not exchange the bulb, but you do not listen to him because you have other things that you care about right now, that are more important, of course, then it sends a signal that the work is not important, and this employee goes back home each day and is frustrated. Yeah, but if you take it serious and say, okay, let's do it, let's write it down, let's do it, and then celebrate also that this week we have made 7 improvements. So this is then a feedback that I, as in management, I care about my people, I care about improvement of the processes, and then of course if somebody has an issue and he has an idea or the machine is not working, then he will approach you and say, I have this problem, can we fix it? And all of a sudden you have another green card, or sorry, improvement card that you can fill out and take it from there. And you can distribute then the tasks to implement these small improvements to many different people. And you do not have to do it yourself as a plant manager, as a general manager, as an entrepreneur. So it's not about you to do all these. You have your 10, 15, 20 people who are capable of doing these things themselves. And then you say, you do this, you do that, and so on and so on. And then you celebrate the results. So this is basically a very easy idea of an improvement process. I will make a small course for this, and if you subscribe to the email list, then you get notified. And there will also be a course for motivating employees in general. I'm about to make an 8-week course. It will be up in the first half of 2023. So you will be notified if you subscribe to my email list. The link is down in the video description. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and subscribe to the channel, like this video if you liked it. You can also forward it to a friend, to a colleague, or to an employee, and we'll take it from there. See you in the next one. Bye bye.